Hello and welcome to the Quiver channel. I am Jason, your host. I hope you're all having a wonderful weekend and have got a reason to smile. Yesterday we were called by, in fact I talked about that already, the medical examiner and that, so I've got to ring on Monday and start sorting all the bits and pieces to do with my mum. I'm okay. I've had a massive come down. What do I mean by that? For the last, let's just check, let's pause this. So we're talking almost 3 weeks of intense stress, depression, coping strategies being taken to the limit, putting my mobility scooter through hell and everything. And things dropped down fast. When my mum passed away at 3 a.m, I noticed something on the way home. My mobility scooter was making a sound it hadn't made before. Now, I don't expect you to believe this, but I believe that vehicles that we care about have spirits, have energy about them. I've always believed this. I remember when I was a kid up the fields and I had a Honda scrambling motorbike. It wasn't very powerful, but I took that thing everywhere and I loved it. It was technology, it was mechanical, it was everything I loved. I loved every part of it. I had taken it apart and put it back together so many times. And one day, I went up to the fields and I was there with my friend, and there was something wrong with the bike. It was basically dying on me. And I realised that the pin that kept in the entire back end assembly had sheared off somehow, and I hadn't noticed it. And so I was about to get off it and walk it home and try to fix it. And at that point, a gang of people that weren't very friendly, weren't very thingy, came up to us because we had stopped in their area. And they kept pressuring us. They wanted to have a go on the bike. I knew that if I let them on that bike, I would never see it again. So my friend at the time, he was a bit weird, very like me, said to me, "You know where my mum lives, or no, grandmother lives. I just need to go and check on her, and then we'll come back, and then you can have a try of the bike." And it was just on the other side of the street. And I didn't expect these people to believe or have the sense of ability to actually understand that this was just a deception. So they said, after a bit of talking in there, they said, "Okay." So we just looked at each other, got on the bike, and I just was like, "Come on, I just need one more run. I just need one more run with you. Just get me out of this situation now. Just one more run." You see, they had their own bikes. And so began a chase. Because instead of going towards, then it was only a 90cc bike, or 90 or 100, something like that. And so it had me and it had my friend on the back of it. And I put into gear, I went full throttle, I went down the street, and pretty much instantly they knew we were running for it. So they got on the bikes that they had, and a couple of them started to chase us. Now, the thing is, I knew the fields very well, and there was some very dangerous places there, places that you didn't usually go because you could easily end up having a very bad crash. There were bollards and places, so I was completely in the zone. So I headed for a bridge that was crossing an area of the fields, and I jumped off the side of the bridge, going full throttle. And that slowed them down because they didn't follow me, they went around the bridge. And then they were still chasing us. And so I felt my friend grab hold of me tighter because he knew what the fuck I was going to try to do. You see, there was this place that went in between some garages, and there was barely enough room for a person to get through there, and there was bollards in the way. It was basically threading a needle. And so I went at it full throttle, and I managed to get through without smacking into the sides and come out the other side. And of course, they didn't follow. And we kept going and we kept going all the way down to close by where my aunt used to live. And pretty much as soon as we stopped the bike, it gave out. It just stopped. It pretty much had burnt itself out. But it saved me. And when I was coming home with the thingy, after this 3 weeks of it working, the mobility scooter working perfectly, everything I tried. You saw me, you saw the kind of things I had to get over the top of. I mean, those that saw the earlier videos where we were using a non-stabilized camera know just how shaky and how many rough pavements and problems that I was pushing into it. And so I made it home from my mum's, and I could hear that there was something different. I don't think it's failed completely, but I think that it's a good job that next week they come in to do a full service, because while I needed it, while I needed to be at my mum's, while I needed to get to that hospital every single day, that Quingo was the most reliable piece of tech I've ever had. And the moment my mum was dead, I heard the engine make a different sound, the motor make a slightly different sound, as if, I believe, the brushes might need replacing, and I believe a couple of the bearings on it might need opening up and lubricating. It's nothing major, but it's things that didn't show up for the entire time of looking after my mum and being there for my mum. And so I'll deal with that after the weekend when the person from the manufacturer comes to do the service and checks it out. It'll be interesting to see what wear we've got after doing 250 miles in just under 3 weeks, travelling some of the biggest hills, some of the harshest places in Stoke-on-Trent. So yeah, I've had computers like that as well. It isn't just mechanical. I've had computers that have lasted or only failed when a new computer has come around along. I think we imbue things around us with our own energy. Yeah, I'm taking a weekend to deconstruct, let myself breathe. I was going to go out on a little run on the scooter, but it's raining outside and I want to wait till the rain stops. But I probably will go out for a quick journey and do a vlog on the scooter a bit later and just get a feel for the engine and doing it. It's got a gorgeous engine. It's a 4-pole, 650 watt motor, electric motor, and it will take you anywhere. I mean, on my way to hospital to see my mum when they called at 2 o'clock in the morning, I basically went the roads all the way, and it handled those roads amazingly. So yes. Now, the other come down, oh boy. Physical come down, oh my God. When I got home from my mum's, my body started aching badly. My legs are still aching. I think over the last 3 weeks I put a lot of tension on my muscles, on my body, while riding in a position on there and doing it so much. I think also that I did myself some harm with the amount of bad food that I ate, because you're at hospital. You don't have access to your home stuff. You don't have access to home cooked meals, but you've got to function out there. You've got to do it. I made sure that I always had my fuel in the morning, but apart from that, I was living on, I don't mind hospital food. I really don't. For the money they have, they do a pretty good job in the UK, hospital food. But it wasn't stuff that my body's supposed to handle. And it wasn't, and the other stuff that I put my body through eating, I had lots of takeouts and that, because by the time I was getting home, I was feeling like shit and not feeling like making anything like that. So the last 3 weeks, apart from having the fuel, which has kept my body able to function, it's been rough. So starting yesterday, I started on a bit of a diet. Now, I don't usually do a diet, and I don't usually put myself through that kind of thing. I've got to be very careful about what I eat, because there's only certain fruits I can eat easily, and there's only things. So I've got fruits in, I've got some spinach and lettuce and eggs, and lots of unprocessed food. Oily fish like mackerel and that. And I'm just going to have salads as much as I can, and not processed stuff for the next week, and so just to rebalance, try to rebalance. Once again, I will suffer in a way for that, because it will affect my acid production in my stomach, but at the same time, my body needs to get rebalance over the next week or two. But apart from that, I'm okay. I'm ready for Monday. I've been sleeping a lot. I've been catching up on my sleep. Not in a normal way, 2 hours at a time, lots of naps, lots of little bits and sleep. Drinking a lot of water, basic water, because I just want to flush my system of all the crap that I went through over the last 2 weeks. I also didn't do my Beat Saber for the last 3 weeks. I've restarted that as part of my exercise, because even though the thing is, being on a mobility scooter is actually exercise too, because it's one of the reasons that a mobility scooter like the Tourer Mark II isn't for everyone is because it has no power steering, and it's a very heavy machine, and you have to put muscles into turning handlebar. Your body is always going through vibrations and shaking, and your muscles are being moved in ways that you don't usually move when you're on that seat in there, especially with the places around here. And so it isn't that I haven't been doing it, but I need to start doing my thing again and do all my bits and pieces, like doing my 20 to 30 minutes of Beat Saber every day, and doing my practices with a lightsaber in the backyard. That reminds me, I need to put my lightsaber on charge. Well, once it's not raining anymore, because I'm not going to use the lightsaber in the backyard. And all these little exercises that I need to get back into doing, just to bring my body back into equilibrium after a massive problems and stress, and de-stress myself as much as fucking possible. Spend some time with my friends and spend some time doing all the things I enjoy doing. The dogs are okay, and this is it. So also I'm going to eat some nuts, which also my stomach doesn't handle very well, but they're very good for you. Almond nuts and pistachio nuts are really good for your body. They're really good. They have so many of the minerals and nutrients that you need, and they're good for us. They're far better snack than crisps and stuff like that. So yeah, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Bye bye for now.